It's the Riot Podcast for Tuesday, July 18th. Today in the podcast, we talk about the Cavs Summer League win. We talk about if Skims could save your life, and how people are using LinkedIn in a way it's not intended for. But first, you were mentioning to me that you have a best man speech coming up.
My brother gets married this weekend. Big deal.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I'm the best man. So I'm expected to talk. Which is like, the thing about it is, and I know this because in the past, I've been labeled as a good public speaker, right?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
And because I talk on a morning show and whatnot, have a podcast, whatever, I know people are going to be expecting more from me.
Yeah. Expectations will be high.
I am not usually a nervous public speaker. But I am getting nervous as the day gets closer. I'm like 3 days out now. It's on Saturday. And I know that the expectations are high for me. And I'm starting to get worried. Will I be able to live up to those expectations?
Oh, you can do it.
I mean, I know I can.
Yeah.
I feel I have a lot of my content. My speech is pretty much done. But like every day I'm like running through it, seeing if I can like slip, like what sounds more smooth.
Yeah.
What's sliding in there nicely. If I think of anything new, swapping things out, whatnot. But now I'm just questioning the route in which I'm taking with the speech.
Well, what do you mean? What route?
See, because I don't know how much I'm supposed to comment on the bride. I don't know how much I'm supposed to be talking about them as a couple versus my relationship with my brother. I'm trying to weigh everything. How much do I make it about them and not how much I make it about me and him and that kind of thing?
I think you don't want to. So I've done a best man speech before, which got rave reviews.
Oh, of course it did. Of course it did.
It got rave reviews. I knocked it out of the park, if I do say so myself. And what I did is you tell a story about you and the groom, but you relate it to how their relation, like the groom's relationship with the wife, with the bride.
That's what I've been working on.
Yeah.
Because I have all the stories. I have all the stories that I'm going to tell. There's like a handful of them. There's like 4.
4 stories.
I think I've got 4, but there's...
How long is this speech?
I don't know. I haven't timed it yet, but I've cut back to... I used to have like 6, but they're all real brief.
Yeah.
They're real quick hitters.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make it to where I can take each of the 4 stories, and kind of highlight how this is something that Taylor... who's my brother's soon-to-be wife.
Yeah.
This is something that she should be prepared for. Or how this can affect their marriage or whatever, like their relationship, or how this relates to it. So I have, of the couple of stories, I've got good ways to relate it to them, or if something like for Taylor to be prepared for, because my brother's such an idiot, so you better be ready for this type deal. Pretty on brand for a best man speech. I think. So yeah.
So you lead off with the "you better be prepared, he's such an idiot." You lead off with those, and you transfer the you got to end with a heart or more heartfelt.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's how I've kind of laid it out now.
Close it with a tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah, to where my final one, then I go from tearing them down and talking about how you better be ready for this, to where at the end I bring it all around. I'm like, and this is why he's so great. Boom.
He's so great. And what? She's lucky to have him and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like how like him and like their relationship, like making sure that obviously we like love Taylor and how she's amazing.
Yeah.
We know she's amazing. And my brother Levi, he has some quirks to him, but I want to make sure you know what you have as well.
Yeah.
Type deal. I think it's going to be good.
It sounds like you got a fine framework.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
What if you came in here, you told me all this, and me and my expert knowledge of doing a best man speech before said, throw it all out.
Start
anew. Over.
I'd be nervous. Then I would be really nervous.
Wipe the slate clean.
Because I thought this was I felt like I had such a good feel for it. I felt like I had such a good idea. I've got a prop.
A prop?
I got a prop that I'm bringing. Not like a stupid prop, but like essentially, my brother doesn't listen to the podcast, so I know that he'll never hear this. But essentially, what it is like I'm like bringing like a book because there's a large age gap between us.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is me seeing like me and Levi's memories from me as like a younger age, pretty much, and being able to see his life and whatnot, and then transferring that to how him and Taylor are
You should have like a slideshow.
No, I'm going to just go the journal route. I'm like, this is me when I was like 12 talking about my brother, my older brother, and how such an idiot he was. Even as a 12-year-old's eyes, I could see it then. It's such a unique point of view. Because there's, yet again, large age gap between us.
That's unique.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird, but it's going to be good. I've got a good feeling about it.
Oh, definitely time it out. You don't want to lose people's interest.
That's the other thing, is the time.
Yeah.
How long?
Because time, 3 minutes.
You think 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes
You
is
don't want
good.
to linger. Unless you got just straight fire that's going to have people on the edge of their seats.
How long was yours? You were like 7. It was fire.
Probably 2.
You think 2? So you were concise.
Know. It goes fast.
You were quick.
Oh, I was in and out.
And you think about 2.
In and out.
You think about when we say, like, we think about it for the show as well. When you think about 2 minutes, like, that seems like that's like a snap of the fingers. 2 minutes is a long time to talk.
Yeah.
Like, if you just hand someone a microphone and said, kill 2 minutes, that would be a long time for someone to kill.
If I wasn't here and you had to talk for 2 minutes, it would feel
like a long time.
So long.
It'd feel like a long time.
Yeah.
And even there's sometimes.
Like, when will this guy shut up?
Yeah, there's sometimes when we're trying to extend a segment where I'm like, we need to get to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
How the heck are we going to get there? But yeah, so I think it'll go by quick.
And then sometimes we talk for 6 minutes.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So top advice would be not to invite me to be involved in your speech.
Or else we're going to talk forever.
Yeah, we'll take up the whole ceremony. So
I need to time it. I haven't timed it yet. And then once I time it, then I'll have to really figure out. Because I think it's going to be long. Right now, I think it's long. But I wanted to have enough content. So now I can just chop off what's unnecessary and just have the heavy hitters.
There you go.
And just have the good stuff.
I think you got the tools for success.
On Monday, I'm sure I'll come in and
success ready for you.
I'll tell everybody how I embarrassed my family at the wedding.
Is the riot.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
We've got a big opportunity presenting itself here. An investment.
I love opportunities.
We've got an investment opportunity. What if I told you for just a few dollars that you could have the opportunity to be a billionaire?
It sounds like I'm playing the lottery.
That's exactly what you're doing.
It sounds like I'm putting money into something that most likely will not have a return for me.
Most likely not, but you got to have a risk to have a reward.
High risk, high reward, baby.
Yeah, it's low risk.
It's low. It's super low.
Low risk and a possible unbelievable return on your investment. The Powerball drawing was last night. Nobody won. Shockingly.
Losers.
And that means...
Good thing I didn't play.
Yeah, that's right. And so when the next Powerball drawing takes place, which is tomorrow, it will be for an estimated $1 billion.
Should we play?
Do you want to split it?
I don't really know. I don't think it's going to work out.
You don't think so?
It's going to ruin the show.
Well, yeah, because we'd probably both retire.
True. You're right.
Yeah.
That would ruin the show.
Yeah.
If we both won, because then that would be the end of the line.
Yeah.
So if we didn't come in a couple of days, all of a sudden we're not on the show anymore. You know what happened.
Yeah, that would explain it.
We're living a lavish life now.
But that would be tough, though. We'd have to keep doing the show for a little while.
Or if they know it's us.
Yeah. And you don't just get the money right away, right?
Yeah, you don't.
You can't just have...
It takes some time. They probably do some background check things first.
You think?
Yeah, they have to. You think you could be deemed not worthy? You think that could happen?
Me personally or somebody?
I'm saying across the board. You think they could be like, after looking at your background, you seem a bit too dangerous to win the Powerball. We're not going to give you this money.
This could turn you into a villain of some kind.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you could be a threat to our society if you win. So therefore, we're taking away your ticket and you do not win the Powerball.
I don't know.
Seems wrong, right?
It seems wrong that they could do that.
Yeah.
I think the only way, to me, they could do that is if you cheated, right?
I guess
Other than that, you can be as bad of a person as you want and still get the lottery winnings.
But we've never went through this because the karma is so low. If you're like a bad person, you'll never win the Powerball.
Exactly.
You don't have good karma.
Exactly. The odds of you winning if you're a bad person are even worse.
Oh, way worse.
Than if you're just an average
They're even
person.
lower, but not that much lower because they're already really low.
You know what's crazy about the Powerball? is that, so this is the third biggest jackpot in history. And we've gone through this. It feels like every year there's because there's two different big ones, right? There's the Powerball and the Mega Millions.
Yep.
And every year one of them gets real, real big. And so then it's a story. And then there's people lined up at the gas station and stuff like that, buying tickets for it. And I personally, I don't think I've ever bought a ticket for it yet.
I never have either.
Even though I'm always when this happens, I get excited. I'm like, I want to, especially when I see the people lined up at the gas station. I just want to be a part of something.
You can.
Sometimes I've been in line with
so
them just trying to buy a Coke.
Yeah, just go buy one.
I should just go buy one. I don't even know how much they cost.
You know what's crazy too? Is if I went and bought one today, right?
Yeah.
And I won, think about how bad you'd feel.
Oh, horrible.
Like if you won, I'd be beside myself.
Would you give me anything for talking you into it?
Well, I think we're ready for the next song.
So yes.
So that's a no.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Question for you. Do you think you could talk somebody into robbing a bank?
No.
Without you being involved, technically?
No, I couldn't do it.
You don't think you could do it?
No, because I think it'd be so hard to convince somebody to do something so stupid.
Do you think you could, what about this? Not necessarily convince them, but what about trick them? Coerce.
Trick them into robbing a bank?
Yeah.
No.
It seems like it's actually not as hard as you might make it out to be.
Really? It's easier?
I believe, based off of what I'm seeing here, that I could do it if given the opportunity. If put in the circumstances where I needed to, I think I could do it. Because someone just actually did it in Omaha, Nebraska. And not only did they do it, they did it multiple times. They tricked people into robbing banks. And here's how they did it. With Craigslist. They put out...
With Craigslist?
They used Craigslist to scam people into robbing a bank. Let me lay it out for you. It actually makes a lot of sense. So they put out this criminal mastermind, put out ads on Craigslist saying that they needed assistance for an ill elderly family member. So people would respond to the ad. The idea, the ad would say stuff like, I need help for a sick family member, including light housework, grocery store runs, and helping with finances. Okay. It seems pretty innocent.
Very innocent.
People would respond to this ad. These folks have responded to the ad. And then once they would get hired, eventually they would be over the phone instructed, hey, can you run to the bank for me and do withdrawal or whatever.
Interesting.
Once they're in the bank, they're on the phone with this person, the scammer. And the scammer would be like, okay, give the phone to the bank teller. I'll give them my bank information or whatever. And then once the phone was handed to the bank teller, the person on the phone, their attitude would change. And they would demand, they'd be like, you need to give this person all the money you have.
No, he's not.
Yeah, over the phone. That's also kind of impressive, robbing a bank over the phone.
He would say, give them, did he say they have a weapon or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the quotes were, but they would say to the bank teller something threatening along the lines of, you need to give this person standing here, give him the money. And
that's
it worked.
Wild.
Yeah.
What a wild way to rob a bank.
Yeah.
No risk either.
On your end, I mean, I believe the Craigslist folks have not been caught yet.
Wait, what?
As I understand it.
They haven't been caught.
Yes.
So the people that have been robbing the banks have not been caught.
The people that have actually, I mean, the people that went in person, of course, but they actually didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
They weren't the ones robbing the banks. What about the people on the phone? The
people on the phone. Now, this has happened in different instances. I'm actually seeing here that not only does this happen in Omaha, Nebraska, it also happened in Maine. So I can't speak to every single instance. Have they caught the people behind this? But it's actually now a recurring thing. So you got to watch out. Watch out what Craigslist ads you respond to. If they ask you to go to the bank, don't do it.
Can you imagine if you're standing there and then all of a sudden the person behind the counter just starts giving you money?
Yeah.
Like, what would you even do? That sounds insane.
Yeah.
Give me all the money. Give the person in front of you all the money.
And what I'm unclear on is how does the person that is at the bank give the money then after they've just robbed the bank to the person on the phone? I was thinking that part too. Probably gift cards.
Visa gift cards.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Now, Isaiah, I got a new dating site for you. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
You may have heard of it before, but I'm sure that you probably haven't used it. LinkedIn.
I am familiar with LinkedIn.
You ready to
It's not
to
a
meet
dating site, though.
The love of your life? It can be.
In what way? It sounds like you're really crossing over like business and pleasure there.
You're able to message people on it, right?
You can.
So it's a dating site.
That's not how that works.
It's exactly how it works. And I have people here that are on both sides of the aisle of whether it is a great place to find a match or whether it is a line that should not be crossed. I have one guy here who went ahead and said, aggressive move, I know.
Real aggressive.
Life's too short not to go for what I am highly interested in. And so this is a message he sent to somebody. Happy to connect regardless of your openness to meet. Kindest regards. He sent to a lady.
He said what now?
Kindest regards.
That's wild.
To a lady. And then, so lots of people not approving of that. Saying stuff like, my rage would never. I would say LinkedIn is not a dating site. It's a place to find a job.
Yes.
But on the flip side, there's this woman who says, if you're on LinkedIn, I would say you're pretty ambitious and pretty driven. If you're going to dedicate and commit and be passionate about your career, then why don't you do that for a girl? And so she thinks it is a good place to find a match.
No, it is not. Everyone has a LinkedIn. Don't make this sound like this is some like new thing that if you're really a hard worker, everyone, if you go to college, they force you to make one. There's a million profiles on there.
Too many.
Everyone has a LinkedIn. I talk on the radio and I have a LinkedIn. You have like this some like sales thing or hard workers, CEOs on there.
Yeah, but there's a difference between you and me on LinkedIn where I have an account. Is it up to date? Absolutely not. Do I maintain? When's the last time I logged in? Who knows? There's a difference between that though and being on LinkedIn. Some people are in there posting. They're doing like multiple paragraphs and just constantly updating it. And that makes
you some like big shot or something.
Apparently, it means you're committed to your career.
It means that you're a hard worker because you can post a paragraph on LinkedIn. I don't want to hear it. If you're posting a paragraph on LinkedIn, that's crazy, number one. And number two, that doesn't make me want to hire you anymore.
I mean, that's certainly a possibility.
And number three, if you DM me after you post a paragraph, I'm going to think you're a weirdo if you're trying to hit on me. That'd be crazy. What you should do is you take the people on LinkedIn, if you connect with them, whatever, and just go follow them on Instagram and go DM them there. But if you DM them on LinkedIn, that is so odd.
I mean, there's people who have found love on LinkedIn. I've found people not only here that have found, like they found love, they found their match, they've been dating for a long time on LinkedIn. I also have I have at least one couple here where they were married, divorced, moved to different cities, and then through LinkedIn got reconnected and I've gotten back together.
It's weird. I'm not for it.
LinkedIn, it harbors some kind of strange, mysterious power when it comes to love life, apparently. Based off of that story.
I think it's very odd. I think if you're DMing on LinkedIn, I think you're at the end of a line. You're really working in a weird place.
You've exhausted all your other options.
Have you no luck on Tinder, clearly. Hinge didn't work. Instagram won't work. LinkedIn is the only place I can score. You're in a weird place. You're in a very weird place.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Zaya came in here feeling like $1 million because you had something good happen to you last night.
We did it. There's nothing better than coming in on what's today? Tuesday? July 18th?
Yep.
Coming in a champion.
You feel like a champion right now?
I feel like a champion. There's not many times when your team wins a championship. I mean, you think
especially when it's your teams.
You think about the Super Bowl. My team's never won one of those.
Yep.
A national championship. My team's won many of those.
Sure.
A national championship in basketball, the NBA Finals. My team's won one of those. But here we are again. I come in today a champion as my NBA team took on the Summer League Championship, and we come out victorious. There's nothing like waking up on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
A champion.
It sounds a little ridiculous, if I'm being honest. What are you going to get, a T-shirt? You going to get a hat?
I'm going to get, well, they got a trophy, a huge trophy.
Uh-huh.
They got rings, so I'm going to have to get a ring.
You have to get a replica ring.
A replica ring.
Summer League Championship ring.
Summer League Championship.
So
How incredible.
For the NBA, this isn't even preseason. It's essentially like a minor league. It's essentially like AAA baseball is what your Cleveland Cavaliers have just won the championship in. So here's what I did. Because what you really want is a real championship, right?
Yeah.
So I went back and
looked.
Not
that this isn't real. Don't try to bring down my accolades. This is real. It happened last night. There were rings. There was a trophy.
I went back and looked at previous Summer League champions to see if there's any correlation with future success in the real NBA.
Okay.
And so here's what I have. You know who won last year?
Who won?
The Portland Trail Blazers.
Well, and yet again, for everyone at home, the Summer League is for young guys.
Yeah.
A bunch of young guys.
Uh-huh.
So the Trailblazers won last year, but it's too early to tell.
Sure it is.
It is too early to tell.
Now, the year before that, Sacramento Kings.
Boom.
And they've made the playoffs one time.
They looked good this year.
They were
Why?
a 3 seed and lost in the first round.
They had a good young core.
That could be your future.
They had a good young core this year. They bursted on the scene, one of the best teams in the NBA.
The year prior to that, COVID. Year prior to that, though, Memphis Grizzlies.
Boom.
What have they done?
Back.
What have they done?
They have a great young core. What do you mean, what have they done?
Have they made it to the NBA Finals?
That doesn't mean anything. They have a great young core.
4 years ago.
They have because of their great young core, they've made the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Year before that, Portland Trail Blazers again.
And they made the playoffs that year. What do you want from me? The great young core again.
A great young core.
You never heard of Anthony Simons? Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jalen Green?
That's why, the great young core, that's why Damian Lillard can't wait to get out of town.
Well, clearly Portland a little bit dysfunctional.
Yeah.
My Cavs, not so much.
No, yeah, they're much better off.
Who won a championship a couple years ago? We did. Who made the playoffs this year? We did. Who won the Summer League Championship? We did.
There seems to be a clear correlation.
Who was the year before that?
The Lakers.
Boom! They won a championship right after. Great young players on that team. That was Kyle Kuzma.
When they got LeBron.
Listen. Kyle Kuzma, good player. Josh Hart, good player. Lonzo Ball, good player.
All right, you want to look back at a few more Summer League champs prior to that? Bulls. Spurs.
Chicago Bulls, Spurs, great organization.
And Sacramento Kings. So if you get LeBron, I think you could definitely win a championship, is what I'm seeing here.
Hey, you know what, Hudson? I know one of your teams hasn't won in a while, so you're upset that my team won a championship yesterday. Don't try to come in on a Monday morning after Ohio State wins a national championship and try to bring me down. There's no way. We won last night. There were rings. No, you can't take it away from me.
This is totally equal to that.
You can't take it away from me. You're upset that the Cavs won.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
A big accomplishment for Taylor Swift. Add one more thing to her accolades. This is actually, it is impressive. She just became the female artist with the most #1 albums of all time.
That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. She now has, after Speak Now, Taylor's version came out and hit #1 on the charts, she now has 12 #1 albums.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but let this be a lesson to you. You need to think about, let me tell you who she surpassed, who previously held this record.
Okay.
Do you know? Did you see it?
I have no idea.
Do you have any guess? If you had to guess, which female artist had the most #1 albums before Taylor Swift came along?
I have no idea. Who could it be? Is she old? Is somebody old?
It's old.
She's old. I have no idea then.
It is, Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
You probably wouldn't have guessed that. You are familiar with the name?
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have guessed that in a million years.
I wouldn't have guessed it, no.
Barbra
Not even
Streisand,
close.
clearly very successful, very popular in her time, but it wasn't, I mean, she's old, but it wasn't that long ago. The Barbra Streisand was, hitting on all cylinders, hitting the number one spot on the charts. And now, who knows who Barbra Streisand is?
Not even me.
I
know her name, but
you know the name, but you probably couldn't name a song.
I couldn't even hum a song.
So think about this. Taylor Swift, hugely popular now. No, everybody can't shut up about the Eras tour. And you give it some time, you give it a couple years, she's going to be like Barbra Streisand. There's going to be people that 20-year-olds that have no idea who she is.
Well, the good thing is, too, is for those of you that are also getting a little bit tired of the Taylor Swift talk, it's almost over.
The Eras tour?
We're so close to the end of the Eras tour. August.
Well, in the U.S.
Yeah, but once it goes out of the U.S., we don't have to worry about it anymore.
The news will shut up about it.
It's out of our hair. Yes. Because they're going to stop saying the economy is just holding on to Taylor Swift as if she's the thing that's really holding us up right now. August 9th, the final tour date in the U.S. for Taylor Swift.
Mark
and then
calendars.
she goes to Mexico. And
she's their problem?
Buenos Aires, Sydney, Australia. And they have dates all the way till next August. She's going to be over in London, Vienna, a bunch of different places.
I love how you just said Vienna.
Not in the U.S.
Well, she'll have something else, though. You
she's
don't know
going to be busy out there.
You don't know what Taylor's cooking up.
I don't care what she's cooking up. When's her last new song? Oh, we aren't doing new songs anymore. We're doing old ones.
We're redoing old songs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm okay.
And it's working out because it's still hitting number one.
Yeah, it's hitting number one, but you know what? We've got 1 month left, everybody. The countdown begins. I will start it now. We're less than a month away. End of Eras tour.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
We're food fighting on the Riot. Hostess has new Ding Dongs X Twinkies. I guess you could call them Dinkies. That's not what they call them.
Twing dongs?
Twink dongs?
Twing tongs.
I think Ding Dongs X Twinkies is the best they could really do without it being real weird. So we have both, or we have that, the mashup, but we also thought it'd be wise to have the originals to taste side by side to see if the mashup is actually better than either or both of them. So we'll try the Ding Dongs and then the Twinkies first, and then try the Ding Dong Twinkie.
I'm with it. I'm ready. The more the merrier for me. I've got the Ding Dong Twinkie box. I mean, if you see it, it looks like a Ding Dong, essentially with the little Twinkie cake inside.
Yeah.
Chocolate on the outside. There's cream in the middle. We're all very excited.
What you may see if you were to purchase both, as we did, is that the Ding Dong and Ding Dongs X Twinkies are virtually indistinguishable from one another when you hold them up side by side. Like, look at it. You just have to look for a thin spot in the coating to figure out which one is the Twinkie inside. Because from the outside, they look very similar. All right. Do we have any people that like hearing the unravel? You want to do a little ASMR?
Nikki always did that. She would always
crinkle it.
She's a big ASMR girl, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think she puts in her headphones and that's how she gets to sleep, I believe. All right, here we go with the Ding Dong first. Haven't had one of these in a long time.
Me either.
Which is clearly a mistake because that's really good. Love the Ding Dong. That'll be hard to improve upon that.
Shockingly good. I wasn't ready for it to be that good.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't get those more. I mean, that's better than a lot of Little Debbie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take that over a majority of Little Debbie's, which I didn't even realize. Like? What's that?
One of my all-time favorites, the Swiss roll.
Except better. I think that's better than a Swiss roll.
No, it's not better than
it's better than a Swiss roll.
It's not better than a Swiss roll.
Well, all right, for the next food fight, we'll have to try a Ding Dong and a Swiss roll side by side.
I do love a Swiss roll. Is like my favorite of all time.
I've got a Twinkie, which always good, but I feel that it's a crime for me to have a Twinkie without milk. I love them with milk.
I think any of this without milk is a crime, to be honest with you.
Yeah, another error on our part. Yeah, I like the Twinkie. I actually like the Ding Dong more than the Twinkie. But if there was milk in the equation, that'd be way different. I think I would enjoy the Twinkie more with milk.
Twinkie is just classic good. And it's not very aggressive either. Sometimes chocolate can be a little bit aggressive for me. Like the Ding Dong, a little aggressive. It's good. But the Twinkie is just so smooth.
Yeah.
So creamy.
Mm-hmm. It's just straight sugar, which is what you want. All right, I've got I've unwrapped here the Ding Dong X Twinkie. And once you unwrap, you can see a little more. It's not quite as coated the same way that the actual Ding. I guess maybe the Twinkie dough doesn't hold the coating as well as the dough batter or whatever of a Ding Dong.
This is a lot to handle right now. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a lot of.
This is becoming a lot.
This isn't a balanced breakfast, I would say. The Ding Dong X Twinkie. I don't think that's an improvement on either one.
I think it's the worst of the three.
I think I'm with you. I think there's a reason that they never did this until now, because it's not a bad idea.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's not bad.
It's not horrible. But it's not an improvement on either. It's just not the best of both worlds. It's the worst of both worlds, is what it is. Disappointed.
Wow, that's wildly disappointing. After having both of those are fire.
Yeah, they're both great.
Ding Dong Twinkies separately, fire.
I think it's more shockingly bad because we had the other two. And it's not bad.
If we didn't have the other two, we wouldn't even know.
It would be like, yeah, it's okay. We probably
wouldn't even know.
Yeah. So maybe so I would say, though, probably just go buy a box of Twinkies or Ding Dongs, or buy one of both like we did and then eat them together. Oh, we got to do that.
Try it together.
Yeah, real quick.
Separately together.
Both at one time. Even that is better than eating a Ding Dong X Twinkie. Ding Dong X Twinkie, not good marks for me. 2 out of 5. Wouldn't buy again.
I'm going to give it like a 3.2. It's not a bad snack.
Mm-hmm.
If they were there, I wouldn't pick it, but you would eat it and you'd eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you bought them, they don't taste bad. But also, after you have the Twinkie and the Ding Dong, you're not doing that.
When you've experienced better, then it's just not good. Then average isn't good enough.
It's just not good enough.
That's my motto.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, this is pretty impressive. I have a woman in China. She's a hotelier. She's starting a hotel that's only for women.
Well, that seems kind of
great. Empowering.
I would say that's kind of leaving a whole demographic out. Which I belong in.
Every hotel doesn't have to cater to every demographic.
I feel like they kind of should.
They don't have to cater.
I feel like they should be open to anyone. It seems kind of, I feel like it's not allowed.
Open to any woman. All women are welcome at this hotel in China. Would you like to know? It probably makes more sense. I think you'll understand more. You'll understand why it exists if you hear why she's doing it.
Okay.
She's doing it because she's tired of untrustworthy men coming into her bed and breakfast in the past, and they would look for casual flings with women. And the last straw, she said, was a woman wound up having a fling with a guy who turned out to be a con man. And she said that was the last straw.
A con man?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
You know what a con man is. You probably conned her out of money or whatever.
Oh, it stole from her. Got it.
Yeah.
So he's a robber.
Yeah. a criminal. He's a criminal.
Got it, yeah. Sounds like bad taste, but that's not me, I guess. That's your choice. Whatever.
He was probably very smooth, though.
I guess he's good.
Yeah. So this woman has decided that sometimes women, they just need a break. They need a break from untrustworthy, bad men. And so she's got this bed and breakfast that she just started that will only cater to women so they can get some rest and relaxation and avoid men for a
Two
little
things.
while. Uh-huh.
I think that's fine.
Good.
Because I'm like, you know what? They can have their own spot.
Uh-huh.
As long as there's I'm sure there's other options in the city anyway.
Yeah.
For guys to
There's
stay
other
at.
hotels. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can stay there. That's fine. They can all have like a little girls' night there.
Uh-huh.
That sounds grand. As long as we get one too.
What do you mean?
Do we get an all-guys hotel where we can like play darts and pool?
So, I mean, some would say that men have had, that's just their choice. So there's all kinds of places that only allow men. How about Augusta National, for example?
Augusta National?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The Masters, where they hold the Masters?
That's a men-only thing?
It has been for a long time.
You're saying women aren't allowed there?
I don't know about now, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Because the times have changed.
Hey, they have changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So everybody gets their own thing.
The times have changed, and finally... You know what? Actually, I don't think that's such a bad idea. I think there should be a place where men can go so that women don't have to deal with them.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's equal.
Uh-huh.
The ladies get a place. The guys get a place. It sounds like fun. Be great for bachelor parties. Send them there. They can do their own thing. A bunch of guys stuff.
Uh-huh.
And the ladies, a bunch of girls stuff. It makes sense.
No, yeah.
I don't think this is such a bad idea. I'm not opposed to it.
There we go. I'm glad I convinced you.
Because then the conflict, there's not the conflict.
Yeah.
We can avoid it.
And I think, to take this a step further, I think there should not be any hotels that cater to con men.
Yeah, for thieves?
Yeah.
I think they should probably have your hotel license revoked if you're letting people get robbed.
I don't know if you can be held liable for that.
I feel like that's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, it is bad, but I don't know if that's the hotel's fault.
But like, if it's not their fault, then at the same time, whose fault is it again? Now we're circling back.
I'll tell you whose fault it was.
The thief.
The man's.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
Now, yesterday, the moment we've been waiting for finally happened. The reveal of who will be the Golden Bachelor has been revealed. 71-year-old Gary Turner is going to be the Bachelor for a new generation. The old generation. He's 71 years old, and he's going to be looking for a match when the Golden Bachelor premieres on TV later this fall.
That's wild. I mean, looking at this off rip, my first takeaways, Gary, 71.
Uh-huh.
He looks young for 71.
Oh, he looks great.
He looks grand.
He looks phenomenal.
He looks a little too good.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I like it like that. I think that he just looks it's not that he looks fake.
Uh-huh.
He just looks too good for 71. Not that you can't be 71 and look good.
Uh-huh.
But he looks too good.
He looks real good.
He looks good. But like, it makes me think, like, on the show, we haven't announced the contestants yet.
No, we don't know.
What if the contestants are like 26-year-olds?
I think that they're not doing that.
You don't think so?
Although Gary, he looks good enough for it. If he has enough money,
no, we're not doing. That's not the show.
No, that'd be a bad show. It would be bad.
Bad show.
It would be yeah, but you can't tell me people wouldn't watch that.
They would.
Yeah.
They for sure would.
They definitely would. But no, they're going to be age appropriate for Gary.
What's age appropriate?
I think that...
You think anywhere from 40 to 85?
I mean, I would find that appropriate, but I believe that the show like denoted that like these people have to be at least like 55 or something, right?
Is that what they said?
I think so. I think you have to be able to get
That makes sense.
You have to be able to get a senior discount to be on the Golden Bachelor. But I mean, we'll find that out in due time. But Gary, I mean, he does look good. Real tan guy.
Too tan.
Oh my gosh! Would you? What do you have against Gary?
Well, there's nothing I have against him.
You have a problem.
I just am not.
Gary's
I'm not sold yet.
Gary's gonna find two wives before you find one.
He seemed a little fake. In his interviews and whatnot. I'm not convinced yet that I'm on board with Gary.
I think he's lovable. He's a lovable chap.
He's 71 years old. Of course he's lovable.
Uh-huh.
I can't hate on him. He's not 25.
It sounds like you're hating on him.
I am hating on him a little bit. You're going to look like that.
There's going to be a very lucky lady.
You're going to act like this and look like that.
In fact, 25 very lucky ladies that are going to get a chance to be the one lucky lady.
He's going to be breaking hearts.
Yeah.
How's he going to handle that,
That
Gary?
is going to be tough. I can't, it's hard to picture Gary turning people down. You know what I mean?
How are you going to turn...
Rejecting women.
You know what's wild? This is what's about to be crazy. So you think that you felt bad before when these like 26-year-old Instagram models were getting sent home?
Yeah.
Nobody felt bad for those girls, right?
Yeah.
But these like 70-year-old grandmas,
no, yeah.
when your grandma gets sent home in the Golden Bachelor, like tears are going to be shed, right? When she's sad because she was in love with Gary, that's different than the 27-year-old on there for Instagram followers.
She just can't compete with the 59-year-old. Mm-hmm. She just can't do it.
And she gets sent home, and she was the sweetheart, too. And Gary sends her home. Are you going to like Gary then? No, you won't.
That is going to be
You're not going to like him then.
The Golden Bachelor premiering this fall on ABC and Hulu.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. RadioU.
The question that we're dealing with this morning is, what is proper swimming pool etiquette? Because I think we just need a list of rules similar to if you go to the gym, you know that there's like not rules that'll get you kicked out, not the kind of rules that'll get you kicked out, but just the rules that are like, everybody should follow these or you're kind of being a jerk. Again, like you wipe your machine down when you're done. You don't linger on a machine. You don't, again, keep your eyes to yourself, that kind of stuff. What kind of rules do we need for the pool? Because people behave like animals in the swimming pool. Let's be honest.
It's crazy, the things that I think about, and I feel like I go to different pools than other people. Because some people, like if we're talking public pools, that's different rules than like more of like an adult setting pool.
Sure.
I would say, because if you're at a public pool, then there's kids there.
Yeah.
And there's no getting kids to follow rules.
The kids aren't going to follow
They've
the swimming
got a
pool
whole new
etiquette.
set of rules of like don't run around. At my pool, no one's running. If you're running, that means that something's wrong. Someone's in trouble if somebody's running at the pool. And so if we're talking about like a public pool that's different, I'm thinking more of like all the adults. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
You need to follow these rules.
Yet again, we're not going to get kids. Forget about trying to convince them or convey these to them. But let's think about, as adults, what can we agree on that this is just proper pool behavior?
Okay.
Text number 1, Regina says, don't go to the bathroom in the pool. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to follow that.
If we can't follow that, then what can we follow?
It is rule number 1.
We have to make a stand somewhere.
Yeah. No, that's proper pool etiquette. I get it.
Don't pee in the pool. Or how about
I think that's fair.
If nothing else, don't pee in the pool close to people.
Yeah, but people will still accuse you.
You're right. Yep, we got to just go in we can go in the bathroom.
Yeah. If we all just agree, we don't. That one's obvious. The other obvious one is, I think it's the same as the gym, and that's keep your eyes to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
That's a great rule.
Yeah.
That's rule number 2. Rule number 2, don't be weird. I love that rule.
Yeah. I think that's, don't be staring. That's unusual.
How about this next one?
Uncomfortable for everybody.
This is a big one for me.
Okay.
Now, this one can change. This is dependent. If there's people in the pool, don't jump in the pool.
I think for adults, I think that's typically fine.
Don't be if there's nobody in there.
Yeah.
Or if there's an area where there's no one and you want to jump in, you jump in over there. If you jump into the pool while I'm standing in the pool and I get splashed in the back, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to be upset. I don't care. I know you're going to be like, you came to the pool and don't want to get wet. I don't want to play these young kid games. All right. I came to the pool.
I don't want to get my hair wet.
I came to the pool to get my lower half wet or however much I feel comfortable getting wet.
Yeah.
I don't want you cannonballing behind me and splashing a wave on the back of my head.
I'm real typically anti-splashing at the pool.
Oh, huge anti-splashing. Yet again, adults. We're talking adults. Don't be jumping in the pool.
All right. This one is... It's a weird scenario, but this actually happened to me. This is what jump-started this whole thought process for me. Don't swim laps in just like a public pool.
Nope.
That's what happened, is there was actually a collision because this one guy swam into somebody at the pool we were at, and nobody else was swimming laps. We're just all hanging out. And this one guy jumps in. He's got like a snorkel on. Don't do that.
Don't be doing that.
Read the room. If nobody else is there, if you have the pool to yourself or nobody's like actually in it, that's fine. But
go to the gym, dude.
Right. Go to the YMCA.
Yeah, go do laps to the YMCA. This is a public pool. People are trying to have a good time here. I think those are all fair rules.
Yeah. How about this one? Jaden says, don't use spray-on sunscreen right in front of people.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't
want that in the eyes.
No. Actually, spray-on sunscreen, I am fundamentally anti-spray-on sunscreen.
You're a lather guy, huh?
Yeah, it's not as effective. If you're going to use sunscreen, use the effective stuff. Or just don't use it at all. It's typically what I do.
Yeah, spray-on sunscreen, if you're upwind, you can't be spraying that around. You got to be careful where you're spraying that.
Yeah. I think we got some good starters here.
Everybody can follow those.
I think that...
Don't jump in the pool.
Uh-huh. Don't swim laps.
Don't swim laps.
Uh-huh.
What are the other ones? Don't be weird.
Don't be weird with staring.
Don't pee in the pool.
Don't pee in the pool. I think all of that is fair.
And then don't be spraying sunscreen in my eyes.
Taken care of.
Easy enough.
Dealt with.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Do you know what Skims are?
Yes, I do know what Skims are.
Skims, the bodysuits?
Yep. They're sold by, like, who is it? Is it Kylie Jenner, Kim K?
Kardashian,
Kim
yeah.
K, that's what it is.
You ever wear Skims?
No.
Admit it.
I've never worn Skims. You know how expensive Skims are?
Oh, yeah. That's why, because you can't afford it. That's why.
That's the only reason.
Well, it sounds like getting Skims might be worth it. Might be worth every penny if they can do this. A woman here is claiming that wearing Skims saved her life.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
Wait till you hear this. She's 22 years old. She was shot with a gun 4 times. That's bad luck. No, she was shot, like somebody shot her 4 times in a row on New Year's Day, but...
4 times? Like, let's just go ahead and pause.
Uh-huh.
Pause with that. 4 times you get shot? Who's shooting you 4 times? That's
criminal.
Crazy.
A criminal.
Shot her 4 times.
A thug, a ne'er-do-well. He shot her 4 times. Somebody shot her 4 times. And while she was waiting, this was while she was waiting for Lyft to pick her up. And she was saved, she claims, because she was wearing a Skims bodysuit, which kept her from bleeding out.
Oh, because it's so tight.
Yeah, it was tight enough that it kept her from bleeding out, kept her going long enough for her to get the medical attention she needed so that she was able to survive.
That's wild. If I'm being honest.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. But at the same time, it makes sense. Because you think about a bodysuit's tight on you, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you're bonded.
Uh-huh.
Do I think that this really saved her? Probably, I guess, from bleeding out. It's that tight? It's that tight, which makes it sound a little uncomfortable. Sounds a little bit much.
If I had to say so myself. But she says currently she doesn't even have the Skims bodysuit anymore, though.
Why not? Because it got shredded to bits?
Yeah.
They cut it off her?
She says the detectives
Bullet holes in it?
The detectives have the Skims because it's a part of the investigation. So she may never get it back.
That was like $80 too, just so you know.
It'd be a cool souvenir.
That was like $80
down the drain.
That you think you would want to get back.
But worth it if it saves your life.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I'm against her sharing this, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Because now...
Wait.
What?
What? You're against her sharing this?
Yes, of course I am.
Why?
Because now Skims are going to go from $80 to $160 and I'll never get a pair.
You'll never be able to afford it.
What do you think their next campaign's going to be?
Yeah.
It's going to be, wear these, they'll save your freaking life.
Her quote in her TikTok was, or Instagram is, body armor for women. They're going to use that in their ads. As well they should. It could save your life.
They just, no, it cannot.
It can, and
You're spreading false information.
It literally happened.
You make it sound like you're putting on a bulletproof vest.
Well, I didn't say. Nobody said that.
You're wearing leggings. I think if you wore leggings, it would do the same thing if you got shot in the calf.
I don't know. I don't think a lot of people die from getting shot in the calf.
Exactly. Where'd she get shot at?
But when you get shot 4 times...
Well, we don't even know locations
your odds decrease significantly of surviving every time you get shot.
Either way,
pretty sure.
I would say, I don't want to advertise, you buy Skims, it's going to save your life if you get shot with a bullet.
No, we're not going to say it's going to save your life. It could save your life. And it has saved a life.
Saved one.
And that's all that matters.
Many more to come.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at radiou.com/donate.